Hello and welcome to the Channel 1 Newsroom, live from our studios at number 5 Owula Hansen Lane at Tesano. I am Inu Safo. Coming up. Parliament's Energy Committee probes Gridco's safety concerns over Galamsey.
There are some towers that we have had to rush in to do some intermediary reinforcements. Unfortunately, there are some areas that even when our maintenance teams are home, they get shot at, and some of them have had to run away.
Ashanti farmers get market access as government supplies onions and tomatoes to senior high schools.
We had 5 bags of onions and 2 rubbers of fresh tomatoes. And I think we have to use this opportunity to thank the President of the Republic, His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama.
Also coming up, President John Mahama demands end to crimes in Gaza, criticizes UN inaction.
But here's the thing, it doesn't matter what you call it. If it looks like a duck, it swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, well, then it must be a duck. The crimes in Gaza must stop.
Education Ministry urges use of resolution centers as school placement issues persist.
In order to guarantee the meritorious application of it. But sometimes there are other persons who may want to abuse it, and we'll deal with them as and when we find culprit.
In Channel 1 Business. President John Mahama credits government with strengthening city and cutting inflation. And in Channel 1 Sports. Family of late boxer Bahubali demands suspension of boxing in Ghana following his death. Thanks for joining us for this bulletin. Let's begin with the Ghana Grid Company, which is raising alarm over threats to the safety of its workers and the stability of the country's power supply if illegal mining is not curtailed. Gridco says its staff working on transmission lines have come under gunfire from illegal miners. The warning comes as Parliament's Energy Committee tours key sector agencies. Charles Owusukumi reports.
The environmental devastation caused by illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, continues to dominate national debate, but a new concern has emerged: the safety of essential service providers. Gridco has revealed that its staff have come under attack from illegal miners while working in remote areas. Officials warn that without urgent intervention, the situation could trigger severe disruptions in Ghana's electricity supply. This concern was raised during an engagement between Gridco officials and Parliament's Energy Committee.
The right-of-way clearing becomes lucrative to Galamseyers, and in a number of areas, our people go and see that overnight people come and do their Galamseying activities very close to our towers. There are some towers that we have had to rush in to do some intermediary reinforcements. Unfortunately, there are some areas that even when our maintenance teams are home, they get shot at, and some of them have had to run away.
The committee chair acknowledged the concerns and called for immediate action.
It is no longer, just a water crisis. It is now moving even to electricity, and that is going to be a national disaster and national security. So we are appealing to our brothers and sisters who are defying all odds and still in the Galamsey industry to know that, look, you are killing this country not only through the water, but you are killing us even through our power sector.
At the Energy Commission, the committee was briefed by Executive Secretary Eunice Bruchum, who appealed for stronger support for local businesses in the renewable energy sector, many of which are struggling to stay afloat.
There have been local companies that over time, have tried to bring in components and to set up, manufacturing of solar panels and so on. And the environment has not been favorable. There's one, SPS was around, they weren't able to do much, they're just hanging around. Another entity, TradeWorks, has really, he's built his factory, he's looking at bringing in equipment, and he wants to partner with us. And he sees that perhaps even some collaboration with governments where they're incentivized to produce in large numbers will help to push that agenda.
The tour wrapped up at the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, where Executive Secretary Dr. Shafiq Suleiman urged lawmakers to fast-track a regulatory framework to ensure nationwide access to clean and safe water.
I'd be glad if the Parliament can consider Clean Drinking Water Acts or regulatory framework with URC ready to take up the matter. In fact, we've even developed internally an existing framework. We are only waiting for the Ministry of Works, Housing and Water Resources to call for it and possibly pass it through Parliament for it to become a law so that we can help implement it.
This tour was part of engagement with agencies under the Energy Committee of Parliament before these agencies come for their budget hearings ahead of the 2026 budget. Next up are the ECG, VRA and NEDCO. From Parliament House here in Accra, Charles Osukumi for Channel 1 News.
Some senior high schools in the Ashanti region have confirmed receiving onions and tomatoes supplied by the government. The distribution follows the government's purchase of produce from farmers in the Ashanti Achim North municipality in line with its directive to create market access and reduce post-harvest losses after farmers raised concerns over wastage. Channel 1 News' Ashanti regional correspondent Doris Lonta reports.
On September 15, 2025, government directed the purchase of 1,000 boxes of tomatoes and 2,000 bags of onions from farmers in Asante Achim North to avert post-harvest losses. Although initial media reports suggested the produce had already been bought, Channel 1 News confirmed the directive had yet been carried out. After several follow-ups, assurances were given that the process would begin soon. In an interview on Wednesday, September 24, the 2024 Municipal Best Farmer for Asante Achim North, Prince Obeng Amwakun, confirmed that a government delegation visited the area on Tuesday, September 23, to purchase several boxes of tomatoes. He, however, could not confirm whether the 1,000-box target had been met. He also disclosed that 800 mini bags of onions had been bought, with assurances that the team would return to complete the 2,000 bag target.
They came to Abubu yesterday to buy some of the bags, not all. They bought 800 mini bags of onion for us. They went to the tomatoes market to buy some of the tomatoes too.
When Channel 1 News visited some schools that received parts of the produce, authorities confirmed taking deliveries of 5 bags of onions each, along with containers of tomatoes. While some schools declined to speak on record, the headmaster of Adventist Senior High School shared his thoughts.
We had 5 bags of onions and 2 rubbers of fresh tomatoes. And I think we have to use this opportunity to thank the President of the Republic, His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, for the good things that he's doing for us.
While the schools have commended the government for the supplies, the farmers are appealing for storage facilities and other interventions to sustain their farming activities. Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Doris Lonta, Ashanti region.
The Ministry of Education has reaffirmed government's commitment to ensuring transparency in the ongoing school placement process. The ministry is urging students and parents facing challenges to visit designated resolution centers for assistance, cautioning that attempts to manipulate the system through dubious means will not be tolerated. Channel 1 News' Kennedy Chumesi has more in the following report.
At the resolution centers, school change requests and related concerns continue to dominate. Although the numbers have reduced compared to previous days, Education Minister Haruna Idrisu insists every case will be handled with fairness and transparency.
Placement of persons who pass in the BEC exams is ongoing. The Director General sitting here have no access. I have no access. Deputy Minister have no access. No Deputy Director General have access. In order to guarantee the meritorious application of it. But sometimes there are other persons who may want to abuse it, and we'll deal with them as and when we find culprits.
Deputy Coordinator of the Free SHS Secretariat, Dr. Belinda Glover, expressed concern about the overwhelming crowds at the centers. She urged parents to accept the placements offered the awards, stressing this would ease pressure on the system and allow staff to focus on exceptional cases.
The schools that have been assigned to them to make our work very easy. Every school is a school. Please go to those schools that you have been assigned to so that we can ease the pressure here. 95% of the cases, I want to change my school. I want to change my school. I want to change my school. The grades that are being brought here for the change of school cannot even go to the schools that they want us to change.
In a related development, the ministry has introduced new guidelines for parent-teacher associations nationwide. The policy, developed by the National Curriculum Review Committee, aims to streamline PTA operations.
There is now an established norm of guidelines to facilitate and support the work of PTAs. So they are truly back. And for those of you who are familiar with socialization, you will come to accept that socialization is a shared responsibility. For us, PTAs are to support improved learning outcomes.
President John Dramani Mahama has issued a strong call for an end to what he describes as crimes being committed against Palestinians in Gaza, urging world leaders not to shy away from naming the atrocities for what they are. Speaking at the 80th United Nations General Assembly in New York, President Mahama criticized the reluctance of the global body to confront the crisis directly. Channel 1 News' Umaru Sandamadu has more in the following report.
Clad in a colorful and beautiful smock, most likely woven by the Gunja people of his home region of Savannah, President John Dramani Mahama spoke not only about Ghana, but of people across the world he believes have been oppressed. From Cuba to Palestine, President John Mahama appeared to be firing on all cylinders. The crimes in Gaza, President Mahama said, must stop.
Ghana recognized the state of Palestine in 1988 and supported a two-state solution to the conflict since then. And I say, contrary to the claims of some, a two-state solution would not be a reward for Hamas. It would rather be a reprieve for the hundreds of thousands of innocent women and children and people who are facing collective punishment and forced starvation for no reason other than the fact that they are Palestinian. For nearly 2 years and for the fear of reprisals, we here in this General Assembly have been playing hide and seek with language to find the right words to help us avoid or excuse what we all know is taking place in Gaza. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter what you call it. If it looks like a duck, it swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, well, then it must be a duck. The crimes in Gaza must stop.
On the very structure of the United Nations, which is marking 80 years, President Mahama lamented the unfairness of the veto power, which has left out the continent of Africa completely.
30 years later, we African leaders are still making the same simple request for a permanent seat on the Security Council with the power of a veto. So today, Madam President, I stand here in this exact spot and ask the world, if not now, then when?
Joining us in studio to share his perspective is the Vice Chairperson of the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament and MP for Jirapa, Cletus Dapila. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you, my sister. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good
How
to
are
see you.
Good to see you too.
Good.
All right, so the President's address has received commendation from some Guineans. Would you say that it was all-encompassing, touching on or factually reflecting Africa's position on the current world global affairs?
Well, thank you so much. Let me say good evening once again, and good evening to your distinguished viewers. I will use this platform to commend the President John Dramani Mahama, for demonstrating courage, for demonstrating, boldness, capacity, knowledge, experience at the UN General Assembly, the 80th section. You see, the President, let me start still by applauding the President for the African that he demonstrated. You see, he dressed as like an African. He portrayed our culture by wearing a smock to demonstrate that this is where he comes from. This is an African. This is a leader coming from Africa. It's just not every Ghanaian needs to laud the President and praise him for what he did at the UN General Assembly. He didn't speak politics. He didn't discredit any political party in Ghana. He stated the realities. He was very clear in his mind what the future of Africa should be, right, and the need for the world to recognize Africa and to know that Africa has contributed immensely to the development of the so-called super powerful nations. Right. And for me, if you also listen to the President, you realize that the President honestly did not also miss his words. In the face of speaking truth to power.
About that speaking truth to power, let's talk about him asking about Africa having a seat on the Security Council, but also calling for a review of the veto system where the General Assembly could challenge its use. How do you reconcile Africa's push for representation on the Security Council with the possibility of limited veto powers?
Yes, my sister, if we look at it, Africa has contributed immensely to the world. In terms of natural resources, Africa has youthful population. We look at the natural resources that we possess in terms of mineral resources, gold, bauxite, and others. And go to these super powerful nations, they don't even have these resources. All of these resources, they took it from Africa. And that is how they develop. So if you want us to be part of this international body, and you deny us of a seat, so we have no say except to come and you give us opportunity to deliver speeches at the site, it's not the best. You see, we need to be part and integral, we need to be integral part of decisions making at the UN Assembly, because we contribute so much to the development of these powerful nations. Now, if you look at the membership of the UN, around 193 nations. 193 nations, Africa is like, we have some 54 to some 57 nations. Now, when it comes to voting, there is no way, because the charter tells us that you must have some 2/3 of the votes in order to secure a seat. And that is practically impossible for Africa. So President Mahama is saying that we need to review the charter to include Africa, at least a seat, so that we can also have a bite when it comes to taking decisions. He's not talking of Ghana, he said Africa. Look at the continent, very vast. You know, we are many population, we contribute a lot to the world GDP and all of that. So at least they should review the charter so that we can be part of it. Otherwise, if it comes to elections voting, we'll never win. We'll never win. So President is telling the world that, look, we've gone far. If you form an organization in 1945 and the world has evolved, it should tell you that at least you should open up, amend your charter, and so that at least some other nations or continents can be part of it.
Migration was another key issue in the president's speech, and he criticized the tendency of other nations to portray migration as a bad thing. But what do you make of the argument that host nations still have a right to regulate how people migrate to their countries?
Well, migration, nobody will want to migrate to any country. If African nations are better off, there won't be the need for anybody to sojourn to any European country or the America for greener pastures. Nobody will want to do that. So that is why President Mahama is saying that, and other voices of conscience is calling on the world superpowers that, look, it's about time for you to consider Africa, because you took a lot from this continent to develop yourself in the past. The resources that were taken from Africa during the slave trade, if those resources were with us today, we would have developed ourselves. There would not have been any need for, migration or people running to other countries seeking for visas all the time to seek for greener pastures in other countries. But because they took so much from us, so if you took so much from us, not that we willingly give, they forcefully took it. Even our human resource were taken.
So you believe the conversation on reparations is
very key. Reparation, very, very important, because if you are talking of human rights abuses and you, in one breath, you are condemning it, and yet you did it against a whole continent, there is a need for you to at least give some reparation. So it's a call in the right direction. And I think that many other voices in Africa should talk to it so that the world superpowers will see the need to actually give some compensation by way of reparation to African continent. At least all those countries that suffered, at least Africa suffered some 12.5 million to 13 million people, human beings, were taken away forcefully, not that they wanted to go. Even the manner in which they were treated, malhandled, handcuffs with chains and all of that, transported through the sea to go and work to improve those the Western world today, those Western countries. I think it's unfair. So if we call for repatriation, it's in the right direction.
The president also spoke or took a firm position on global issues such as Gaza and Cuba. What do you say to critics who argue that such positions can have consequences for Ghana?
Well, you see, I know, even though Ghana, we are non-aligned from the Kwame Nkrumah days, but you see, sometimes when you see the obvious, you must take it, you must say it. You see, the truth of the matter is that the super powerful nations, let's say the 5 most powerful ones, in one breath, they will be calling for peace and crime against humanity in other nations. But when it is in their interest, they go and support one nation to perpetuate crime against the other, and yet nobody should talk. You understand? So President Mahama and other voices of conscience is calling on them that, look, let there be peace in Gaza. Look at what is happening. People, you just target, hospitals, churches, women, children, and bomb them. To what extent? What do you want to gain? So if you are calling for peace, if you think that, crime against humanity should be stopped, this is where it should begin from. Don't eschew your interests. You understand? The well-powered bodies or those countries, they should at least eschew their interests and then support so that there can be peace in the world. So you can't not be asking for, other countries to be punished, or other presidents in other countries to be punished on crime against human rights abuses, and yet you are supporting another country to at least, commit the same crimes. So it is fair for the president to state it clearly. And I know other countries, if you look at the summit, the UN, the assembly session ongoing, when he was speaking, many people applauded to it. And they applauded him and said, this is what we want to hear.
Right.
Another Kwame Nkrumah has emerged.
Right.
So at least everybody applauded the president.
Right.
So it is not all the time that we will have to stay non-aligned. There are times that we must speak to the obvious. Russia-Ukraine war, when it came, though Ghana's position is always non-aligned, but the then president spoke to it. And he spoke in a way that everybody saw the direction he was going. Okay. So in the same vein, President Mahama is at least adding his voice to the voice of conscience to tell Ghana, the world that, look, let's stop this human rights abuses that
Honorable
you
Dapula,
are against.
Honorable Dapula, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure
to speak to you too.
All right.
Good.
Let's move on to some other issues now. 2 days after appearing before the NPP vetting committee, Dr. Yao Duchum has launched what he calls a hope tour across the Ashanti region as he courts the mandate of party delegates. The NPP presidential primary, slated for January 31, 2026, is expected to be a fierce contest among former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, former Assin Central MP Kennedy Ejapon, Abetivi MP Brian Echampong, and Dr. Duchum. Ashanti regional correspondent Bright Yeboah has been following him and reports.
Former Education Minister and presidential hopeful for the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Yao Duchum, has kicked off his campaign tour of the Ashanti region. He has been engaging party members and delegates to outline his vision as he seeks to lead the party into the 2028 general election. Addressing delegates in Bekwai, Dr. Duchum cautioned against unrealistic promises.
Dr. Duchum, 2028, campaign no be the papa. Campaign no be the me ko jina ma ka tra mo say mo dollar call from na mentimi anye bintimi nkasa.
He also promised a business-friendly approach to taxation. According to him, under his leadership, the Ghana Revenue Authority would not lock up shops and stalls over tax defaults, but rather adopt measures that promote growth and encourage compliance.
Na me pese me tu ohia sinti no na udi dwa me ma GR ma store fa credo metum na omu ko bia na omu ebia ma akotena ho na GR for na trere niam a woton na akotua to wo aba na dis kam adwadi no yankoto ayeda da bi nia man say business resource centers a ye nia pani alanchematin sisi ye no de ebe say de beya prosperity centers ukọ na odi dwa abankrache ba wo honom odwamu a edwamu a oma emeje oto oba no no atranse akasema me kwan ba ne fa so wadwuma ne beye yie.
Dr. Yao said he began his campaign today in the Ashanti region, canvassing for support from party members and delegates as he makes a case for his leadership bid. For Channel 1 News, I am Bright Yeboah.
You're still watching the Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 TV, still to come. President John Mahama credits government with strengthening cedi and cutting inflation. We'll tell you more shortly. Do stay.
This October, Ghana's altar calls once again. After 7 unforgettable years, the 8th edition of Women in Worship arrives with a divine charge. Celebrating his faithfulness, minstrels Ada Ehi, Rabna Tomi Favored, Keepers Music, Ikiaser Wabonsu, and many more will gather at Perez Dome on October 5th. Grab your tickets now. Regular 100 Ghana cedis, VIP 200 Ghana cedis plus beverage. Grab it online via Ego Tickets or www.egotickets.com. ticketeventpaddy.com. Short code USSD *713 *33 *30# or call Ticket Hotline 0248 810 396 or 0544 124 567. Tickets are available at Airport Shell, Hatcho Shell, Bachana Total, Perez Dome, and more. Sponsors, media partners. Powered by Quest. Women in Worship 2025. Daughter, you still have a voice.
Hey Ghana, so you people know Miss Brother once more. If you it's your boy. Kill them all. But this time, I'm not only killing mosquitoes, I am killing the grades. See? This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the perfect mosquito-free atmosphere. Thank you, Out Insecticide. And yeah, Out Mosquito Coil. For a mosquito-free atmosphere, trust Out to... You are not serious.
Out Insecticide. So ya boa, faha.
This BB9 Jazz Season 10. No filters, no scripts, no holding back. Cause it's 10 times the drama, 10 times the rivalry, 10 times the game. This is certified. No zero, no minus. Big Brother 9 Jazz Season 10. On Showmax.
His uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
I'm
the second coming.
Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Trot from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Obey you later.
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go feel the luckiest. Coffee from Georgia be luckiest. From Natepia, cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go feel be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go feel be the luckiest.
That Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it to her, so would the coming of the Son of Man be.
Hey!
Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
You've seen nothing yet. This Big Brother Naija Season 10. It's 10 times the drama, 10 times the rivalry, and 10 times the game. This is certified. No zero, no minus. Big Brother Naija Season 10. Showing 24/7 on DSTV and on GoTV. Gold sponsor, Guinness.
You're welcome back. This is Channel 1 Newsroom. Next is Channel 1 Business with Netele Nete Ajahu.
Channel 1 Business is brought to you by MTN and EcoBank.
How may I help you today?
We'd like to open a bank account.
Sign here, sign here, sign here, and here. And now you draw direction to your house. I need your thumbprint. And I'll need your birth certificate too. No, I need the original.
A lot has changed since you banked like this. So have we.
we've made it easier than ever to open an account online and bank on the go through our mobile app, online banking, and more. EcoBank, a better way to bank your way.
Sign here, and here.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hi Natile, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm very well, thank you. What's happening in the world of business?
We know President Mahama is in the U.S. for the United Nations General Assembly. He's been speaking on how this administration has helped the city gained, and then inflation has also come down. So I think he's projecting Ghana in good news.
Give us the details.
Okay. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has touted Ghana's economic turnaround under his administration. He says this government has strengthened the city, reduced inflation to 11.5%, and maintained price stability within 8 months of assuming office. President John Dramani Mahama made the remarks while delivering Ghana's address at the 80th United Nations General Assembly.
In just 8 months, we have achieved significant reduction in inflation from 23.8% in December 2024 to 11.5% in August 2025, restoring price stability for our citizens. Additionally, our currency, the Ghana cedi, has appreciated considerably against other currencies, with Bloomberg reporting it as the best performing currency in the world at one point. Our improved sovereign credit rating reflects increasing investor confidence in our economy. And our 24-hour economy initiative promises to transform our economy.
Now, Ghana recorded 76 new projects with a total estimated foreign direct investment of $862 million in the first half of 2025. This according to latest data from the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. Emmanuel Opong has more in this report.
The figures represent over 300% increase compared to the $179 million registered during the same period last year, underscoring renewed investor confidence in the Ghanaian economy. The manufacturing sector led in project numbers with 32, while general trading attracted the highest investment value at $622 million. Overall, the projects are expected to create 4,707 jobs when fully operational. In terms of source countries, China topped the list with 22 projects, followed by India with 14, Nigeria with 8, and the United Arab Emirates and UK with 4 each. The United States ranked 6th with 3 projects, while Liberia, Mauritius, Singapore, and Turkey each recorded 2 projects in the same period.
The World Bank has revealed that poverty rates in Ghana's Upper East, Upper West, and Northern regions remain above 50%, exposing sharp inequalities despite the country's steady GDP growth of 4 to 5% in recent years. The bank stressed that disparities in poverty and social outcomes are worrying. This report has more details.
The World Bank's 2025 policy note Transforming Ghana in a Generation reveals that poverty levels in these 3 regions remain above 50%, in stark contrast with the rest of the country. Additionally, more than 80% of Ghana's poverty incidence is concentrated in rural areas where farming households rely almost entirely on rain-fed subsistence agriculture. Disparities in poverty and social outcomes are stark between the Upper East, Upper West, and Northern regions, where absolute poverty rates remain above 50%, and the rest of the country. The persistence of poverty is especially striking given decades of NGO and donor projects in the north. From nutrition schemes to borehole drilling, countless programs have attempted to close the gap. Yet the World Bank findings suggest these interventions have not been transformative in lifting residents out of poverty. Agriculture remains the dominant employer in the 3 northern regions, with farmers mainly engaged in rain-fed traditional subsistence agriculture, which is disproportionately affected by volatile rainfall patterns and increasing crop failures due to climate change.
Let's now check how the local currency is performing on the interbank market. And that's all for Channel 1 Business. I am Netele Netu Ajaho. Back to you, no?
Thank you very much, Netele. Let's do some other stories now. Hallmark Cafe, a supporting sponsor of the 2025 City Business Olympics, has assured participants of delicious meals throughout the event. The annual Corporate Sports Festival will bring together companies to compete in disciplines including swimming, seven-a-side soccer, volleyball, lime and spoon, table tennis, chess, sack racing, and more. The following report has the details.
With just 3 days to go, competing companies, partners and supporters are gearing up for the 2025 City Business Olympics at Eden Heights Sports Complex in Weija in Accra. Speaking on the City Breakfast Show, General Manager of Bethel Logistics, Mark Ofori, said the company's partnership with City FM and Channel 1 TV has greatly enhanced its brand and public visibility.
For us, and City is like it's a family home. So, you know, City has been on Beyond Borders. We've done footprints.
Absolutely.
So for us, City is like a home.
You have your footprints on our timeline.
On your timeline. So anything City, Bethel Logistics is proud of.
I love it. What does it do for you? What does this association...
Well, the mileage. You can't joke with it. The business mileage, the exposure.
Yeah.
You are anywhere and they are like, oh, we saw you on City.
That makes it easy.
On Channel 1 TV.
They
By then it was City TV.
Yeah.
Oh, we saw you on City. Anywhere you walk into the...
Bethel Logistics.
Exactly. Oh, these are the people who always are on City TV. Haven't you seen them?
Yeah.
That alone.
There's a more tiny.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Head of Clinic Operations and Administration at Dampong Healthcare, Augustine Ano, noted that the facility will provide free health screening for participants.
Doing a blood pressure check, we're going to do a sugar check, and then we'll do education. You know, people don't seem to want to understand the need to do a self-check. Voluntarily go and then run some tests on yourself. But most of us here drive. Every 3 months, we send our cars to the workshop. Every 6 months, we take our car for maintenance. But how often do we take ourselves for maintenance? We are the ones driving this. So as part of the free screening we'll be doing, we're going to do health education, awareness creation.
The City Business Olympics 2025 is powered by City FM and Channel 1 TV in partnership with Side Hustle. And it's proudly sponsored by UMB Bank and Eden Heights Sports Complex and supported by Bethel Logistics, Dampong Healthcare and Hallmark Cafe.
This is still the Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 TV, still to come. Family of late boxer Bahubali demands suspension of boxing in Ghana following his death. We'll be back with the details, don't go away.
Let's talk hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids are normal structures located in the anus of all mammals.
But it is only man who suffers hemorrhoidal disease because of the erect posture we have assumed and the squatting that we do to empty our bowel. Hemorrhoids consist of a special type of blood vessels which fill with blood when we are moving our bowel and help to cushion the anus against the force of transmitting the stool. Afterwards, they empty their blood, collapse, help seal the anus to maintain continence. Over time, these vessels lose the elasticity of their walls, become dilated, permanently filled with blood, leading to congestion of the hemorrhoids. The symptoms of hemorrhoids are bleeding and prolapse of the hemorrhoids when passing stool, itching and feeling of warmth in the anus and anal discharge. Laser, ligature, and longo are the modern, minimally invasive, most effective and painless methods of treating hemorrhoids today.
Mwintaba Hospital, first Ghana Colorectal Center, in to serve a peculiar health need.
Hey, Kweku. Let me go so.
Chale, I am going to Ghana for Festac Festival 2025.
Africans are ready.
Welcome to Africa Show.
Africans are ready.
From the 21st to the 27th of September 2025.
the world will gather under one sky celebrating what unites us. Our culture, our heritage, our pride. Welcome to Festac Africa Festival 2025. A 7-day explosion of colors, rhythm, fashion. Festac Africa Festival is not just an event. It's a festival of impacting inclusion and changing lives. Powered by Ghana Tourism Authority. Register today at www.festacafrica.org. Africa is ready. Ghana is ready. Accra is ready. Chale, are you ready? Festac Africa Festival Renaissance 2025. Ghana. Be there.
DSTV means choosing.
Amazing acting.
Face branding while streaming.
Front row at the gaming and super fanning while on the going. Winning! Binging and blockbustering. While others are white ricing, you're jolloffing.
This looks so good.
With something for everyone. Anything is possible when you're DSTVing. Start today with all sorts of packages to match your...
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again? Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Obey him later.
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. Yeah, you go be the luckiest. Kofi from Georgia be luckiest. From Natepia, cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter what you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God the apple boom. If you put it so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come.
It's on Super Sports all season long. Pay your subscription today. Dial star 759 hash. Available on DSTV and GoTV.
You're welcome back to the Channel 1 Newsroom. Next is Channel 1 Sports with Bernard Abekuatri. What's the family of Bahubali? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. I like your pendant. We'll talk about it later. But what's the family of Bahubali thing?
Would you want boxing stopped for?
The money, yes, but every other thing, no.
Let's get into it.
Get into it.
The family of the late Ernest Akushe, widely known as Bahubali in the boxing circles, has called for an immediate suspension of all boxing activities in Ghana following another tragic incident in the sport. Akushe's death comes less than a year after the passing of Nigerian boxer Gabriel Oluwasegun in March. My colleague Gabi Ofe visited the family home of the late boxer Bahubali and found this.
What many had hoped would usher in reforms and greater safety in Ghana's boxing fraternity following the death of Nigerian boxer Gabriel Oluwasegun Olarinwaju has not materialized. A 7-member committee set up by the sports minister had recommended suspending boxing activities until the right measures were implemented. However, in less than a year, the sport was struck by another tragedy when Ghanaian boxer Ernest Akushe died 10 days after his bout with Jacob Dixon at the Bukom Boxing Arena. Now, just 2 days after the passing of Bahubali, the boxing community is once again in mourning. At his family's house on Thursday, relatives revealed that they are still struggling to come to terms with his death and are yet to receive the autopsy report. Boxing onukpa ame Kenya wi mina me Kenya.
Oh, amele mi behi wo nka me wieko.
She managing arrangement from mene kashi mile to the next 2 weeks. Manage na autopsy report nyeke hospital area mineva.
Oh. Ball yake no momi sani wo no ele no ko be baja yo apeli eta.
Brother of the deceased, Niyate McLean, called for a suspension of boxing activities.
Ghana boxing ke ame FIFA jien me no atan. Ame kwe ke ame yoke alonuko. Just ame ekole no na meto ne efiafi. Ame kwe gbema ke ame ye wala lo ame be wale. Ashi. No fe ha ame fet fiu. No ke ayu la kan puwe. Iba ngona ko na me kwe la kama jani bi efe ni. Ame bomode ni akena ne amashi. For sometimes.
A staunch fan of Bahubali says the Choko community has lost a true gem in the late boxer, describing him as someone deeply loved and cherished by the locals.
As we all know, Bahubali is a jovial boxer, as well as a media boxer too. What I could say about him is Bahubali started boxing in his grown-up, so he is not fully fitted for the show.
The National Sports Authority, which was directed to revoke the license of the Ghana Boxing Authority, but has yet to do so, has come under heavy criticism from sections of the public. Many believe the recent death could have been avoided if the directive had been carried out. In a statement released on Thursday, however, the NSA appealed for calm. An excerpt read, the NSA appeals to all stakeholders within the boxing fraternity, the sports ecosystem, as well as the general public to remain calm as investigations continue into the unfortunate passing of professional boxer Ernest Akushe. Reacting to the developments in the City Breakfast Show, Godfred Akoto-Boafo urged the sports minister to ensure the NSA follows through with a directive to revoke the GBA's license, stressing that the authority's inaction has contributed to the current state of affairs.
The problem boxing has, Bernard, and I'll make this quick for you, and the reason why I need Mr. Kofi Adams to today tell Yampo for Ankara to withdraw the license of the Ghana Boxing Authority today.
Kofi Adams, the sports minister, to tell the National Sports Authority
boss, who in my estimation is conflicted in the matter.
Why?
Because he has a very close working relationship with the Boxing Authority. I've seen a video where he's helping Aite Powers promote this weekend's fight, and the Alpafaka is happily standing there with Aite Powers saying that the rumors of boxing being suspended are untrue.
Well, it's been a solemn atmosphere at the family house of the late Bahubali, who passed on 10 days after his bout between himself and Jacob Dixon at the Bukom Boxing Arena. For the family of the late Bahubali, they are calling on authorities to implement the recommendations from that committee who submitted it to the Ministry of Sports and Recreation and also the National Sports Authority to bring some sanity in the boxing fraternity with regard to examining boxers right after the bout and also before that. We paid a visit to the family house of the late Bahubali, and they are not too happy with the development in the last couple of days. Reporting here at Choco for Channel 1 Sport, I am Gabi Ofe.
Well, let's talk about the greatest experience you'll be having over the weekend. Head of Customer Experience at Coronation Insurance, Sir Kelvin Atiapa, says his company is ready to compete in all events at the 2025 City Business Olympics and is aiming to emerge victorious across board. The much anticipated event takes place on Saturday, September 27 at the Eden Heights in Waja, bringing together more than 100 corporate institutions to compete, network, and celebrate teamwork. teamwork. Competition will span 7-a-side football, volleyball, basketball, lineman, spoon, arm wrestling, lawn tennis, sack race, tug of war, draft, chess, Scrabble, swimming, and the CEO's challenge.
Me, myself, I'll be taking the tug of war.
Oh,
I always lead my team when it comes to the tug of war.
Beautiful.
So for tug of war, I will be leading the team.
Okay.
So we are winning all the games during the tug of war space. So that's fine.
And what other disciplines are your people gearing up for?
So we are prepared, just like Felix said. And we have the VIM, we have the men who are ready to participate in this activity. So we've registered for all the games. So the 7-a-side, the basketball, the arm wrestling, the swimming, the tug of war, both men and female. We also have the volleyball team. Our team is prepared. Even just yesterday, we had one of our players landing in to also join us. Yes, that player was out of the country. So that player just joined us. So we are prepared. We are versatile, and we believe that we are going to win all the games there.
Well, that's the very latest from the world of sport, and I am Bernard Abeku. You know, that's your sports.
Thank you very much, Abeku, and that's how we wrap up today's bulletin. Do visit our website, channel1newsonline.com, for information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to Channel 1 TV on YouTube for more exclusive video content.